What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Guys, we all know who Brittney Griner is. She is in the WNBA. She got a lot of attention when she was locked up in Russia for some time. Many people feel like that was just, because of the situation between Russia and USA. She's playing over there. In fact, they make more money over there than the United States. But she's taken a very controversial picture because her and her wife, Brittney Griner, are having their first baby. The baby is a boy, okay? The baby will be, she's pregnant with a boy. So they take this picture, they post it on the internet. You see Brittney Griner from the back. We can't see her from the front. And Antonio Brown says something pretty interesting. Brittney Griner is definitely a dude. Okay, so let's talk about something uncomfortable. When you listen to Brittney Griner speak, in Brittney Griner's attitude, okay? Brittney Griner does come off very masculine, all right? Sometimes when she's talking, you're like, it can be confusing, okay? However, and I want to talk to guys about this. This is something that I have learned as I've gotten older to keep to myself. Let me just tell you this, like when in California, I think it's about like 13, 14 years ago, there was a law to pass gay marriage, something like that. It failed in California at the time. And a lot of people were vocal because at that time, you could be more vocal about those things. And in 2015, it became a federal law. And because it was a federal law, you couldn't say anything about it anymore. Not without getting in trouble. I have learned, man, that situations like this, if it doesn't bother me, if it's not affecting me, I just don't give a damn, okay? Like, and this is one of the things that I think a lot of guys need to understand, especially guys who have wanting to do business in the corporate sector. Unless you live in some of these countries like Nigeria, you live in the Arab world, you live in Uganda or places like that. And if you don't, you're really hard on homosexuality, maybe even Poland, maybe you could be a little bit more free with that. But if you need to work in America, if you need to work in the Western world and your income is coming from that, you gotta, sometimes some things you gotta think. Now, let me say this about Brittney Griner. Brittney Griner would have to know that posting such a picture would get somebody to say whatever they were gonna say, right? Not blaming her, but obviously you can post what you want, but obviously you're gonna get trolled, right? And then when you do that, you fall into that trap, right? You fall into the trap. Over here in Uganda, homosexuality is illegal. So rarely will you see something like this happen. I mean, I think if somebody were to do this publicly, it's against the law, unless you're just super rich, you really risk it. You risk getting yourself into trouble with the law or just with people in the community. But again, the future, you got to understand, it's about gays and women. This is what men need to know. Gays and women is where the priorities are going to be within the United States. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. But women's rights, gay rights, and now we're seeing immigrant rights. That's where we're going. Okay? That's where we're going. So what brothers got to start to do is there going to be a lot of things coming around the pike, coming around the next decade. I mean, you've already seen it with some of the educational agendas. I saw a video of a person that you would consider or some would consider a transgender person. I don't know if it was a skit or not, if it was a trans lady or if it was a comedy skit. I'm not sure. So I can't clarify what the person was. I don't know if it was a skit or it was real. Okay. But it appeared to be what you would consider, what some would consider a transgender woman or a transgender woman, right? So the individual walks inside of a male's bathroom and says, "Oh, I know y'all not mad that I'm here. Where the D at?" So again, this is why I'm saying, I don't know if this is a skit. I don't know if this is a comedy skit or a sketch. This is to go viral. This is really a straight person acting like this, doing this. I'm not sure. But the fact is, if that is actually real, you already know what time it is. Look at what's happening in the prison. I saw a story of a guy, this is a real talk, who has went to jail for assaulting women. The guy gets some level of surgery and becomes a transgender woman. They put the person in the female cells. The person is doing the same thing they were doing when they were actually a heterosexual male, all right? So the world is getting very, very convoluted. It's getting, things are happening people don't make light of. I really don't want guys to really just get caught up with that, especially if you got something to live for. Because there are going to be some things coming down the pike, man. You're going to be like, damn, man, like, I want to say something about that on my social media. You can. But is that comment worth your job? Okay? Is that worth your income? Like, look at the lady, Lily, this North Carolina lady that was silly enough to go out there and say, broke ninjas. Now, the thing with her is at least she'll be able to go to the conservative right hardcore. You know, she's already been on Alex Jones. She's been there. Lily Gaddis is her name, rather, okay? But now, when you're a person and you say something about the gays or women or Jews, and there's nobody that can touch you. Look at Candace Owens. Candace Owens just now came back to YouTube because nobody will touch Candace Owens anymore. It's not possible. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Cause she offended the Jews. The Jews are too powerful. Right along with them are the gays. Say something about them. Don't matter if you don't agree with it. Like many folks was tight when Dwayne Wade had a son. The son became a transgender daughter, and now they're pushing, transgender children or rights or some kind of academy or whatever they were doing. People are tight about that. Wanna know what? Don't like it? Get your ass up and leave and move to Uganda like I did. There are a lot of things in America that I do not appreciate. I like a lot of things about America, but some of the stuff I just can't get with anymore. So I'm not there. There are a lot of things I just can't understand, like this whole immigration thing. I just can't deal with all of that. And so if I don't have to be there, then I don't. Even the violence. Like, for example, when I go outside and walk down the street, shout out to my brother Afro Think Tank. You know, he told me he's off to Nigeria. He says, man, when I'm in Nigeria and I walk down the street in the community, people are poor and people don't have everything, but I never have to worry about something happening to me. I don't have to worry about somebody robbing me, somebody doing X, Y, and Z to me. Kids speak, all right? People actually speak. Hello, sir. How you doing? This and that. This is what happens in the communities, okay? You don't have to worry about all that crazy stuff. But you do worry about it in America. So, want you brothers to stay focused on what is important. Brittney Griner doing whatever they're gonna do is not important. Who is marrying somebody is not important. What's important is you get into your bag, and if you don't like what you see, listen, it's a whole world out there, but don't ever mess your money up like Antonio Brown. Don't mess it up. Or if you wanna, combat that, you need strength in numbers and money to combat the machine. Unfortunately, a post on Facebook and all of that's not gonna change anything. You'll lose everything you got. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with an episode of The Celebrity Junk. Producer for all of you, just heard the bell. We're out.